These are the Daily Tech headlines for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. I'm Sarah Lane. Proton launched its Google Docs and Microsoft Office competitor Proton Docs inside of Proton Drive on Wednesday. Proton, which launched as a privacy-focused email client, now has a suite of work tools, including a calendar, a file storage system, a password manager, and more. Proton acquired Standard Notes back in April, but tells The Verge that Standard Notes will remain a standalone platform. Proton Docs is web-only and desktop-optimized for now, with every document, keystroke, and even cursor movement being end-to-end encrypted in real time. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Wednesday that Threads now has more than 100 million monthly active users, although it didn't disclose daily active user numbers. This is Threads' one-year anniversary. It first launched in the App Store on July 5th, 2023. The Verge's Alex Heath says that Meta employees have told him in recent months that a good portion of Threads' growth is still coming from it being promoted inside Instagram. He also said Meta execs are considering turning on ads in Threads sometime next year. Yay. Meta also introduced Meta 3D Gen on Wednesday, a new AI system designed to create high-quality 3D assets from text descriptions in under a minute for things like video game development, industrial design, and architecture. One component is Meta 3D Asset Gen, which creates 3D meshes. The other is Meta 3D Texture Gen, which generates textures. In tandem, they can produce 3D assets with high-resolution textures and physically based rendering, or PBR, materials. Meta says the process is 3 to 10 times faster than existing models. Netflix started sending notices to subscribers of the $12 a month basic ad-free plan that they need to switch to a new plan to keep their service active. They have some choices. They can choose the cheaper $6.99 basic with ads plan, or the $15.49 per month ad-free HD plan. Or they can also choose the top tier $22.99 per month 4K plan. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman reports that Apple's Phil Schiller has been given an observer role on OpenAI's board as part of an agreement between the two companies announced last month, where Apple will offer ChatGPT on the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Schiller is the head of Apple's App Store and former marketing chief. Board observers don't have the same power as full-fledged directors, giving someone the right to attend board meetings but not being able to vote or exercise other director powers. Thunderbolt 5 offers 120 gigabit per second single direction speed and 240 watts of power, where you can drive external GPUs or SSDs or even a high-res, high-refresh rate monitor. The first 3 certified Thunderbolt 5 cables are now shipping from Cable Matters. The Verge says one laptop, the Razer Blade 18, will offer a configuration with a Thunderbolt 5 port. But for those who want to be ready for Thunderbolt 5 devices at least someday, this is how you get ahead of the game. In its 2024 environmental report on Tuesday, Google said that emissions related to data center energy consumption, supply chain emissions, and rapid advancements in demand for artificial intelligence rose nearly 50% compared to 2019. The report also noted that the company's total data center electricity consumption grew 17% in 2023, and overall emissions increased 13% year over year in 2023. Google's stated goal is to achieve net zero emissions by 2030. If you haven't heard of CocoaPods, it's a repository for Swift and Objective-C projects used by around 3 million macOS and iOS apps. Developers say that pods and app makers typically incorporate those pods through app updates. That's the usual vector for what's called a supply chain attack. A vulnerability in a trunk server used to manage CocoaPods was vulnerable for decades, and that vulnerability was detected and patched last October. There isn't any evidence of them being exploited. However, EVA Information Security, which discovered the vulnerabilities, announced guidelines for any developers to make sure that's the case, and they are safe. And finally, Android Authority sources say that Google plans to introduce a set of machine learning features to the Pixel 9 in August. A leaked screenshot describes Google AI as including Gemini, that's its LLM-based assistant, Circle to Search, and Add Me, which apparently can make sure everyone is in a group photo. So if you took the photo, you can add yourself later. Kind of cool. Also, screenshots to search for info in your screenshots and Studio, which is described as you imagine it, Pixel creates it. Well, sounds like image generation. For more discussion of the tech news of the day, subscribe to dailytechnewsshow.com. It's a great show. You can find show notes and links to all of these headlines there as well. Thank you for listening. I'm Sarah Lane, and we'll talk to you next time.